Hi, 143 fam. I'm Antonia. Thank you for being here. If you would like to win a free reading in the month of March, I'm going to be choosing two winners like I do every month. Leave me a comment below your video. Let me know that you have subscribed, and I will announce winners at the very end of the month. Make sure that you pay attention to my comment back to you. That's how I'm going to announce winners at the end of March. I am also available in March for readings, healing sessions, and custom candles. I will have availability after March 5th. So if that's something that you would like to book with me, check out my website, urbansoulguru.com. I'll have that link in the description box below. Now let's jump in to your March 2019 horoscopes. Hi, Capricorn. We're going to start with your general overview for March, and then I'm going to jump into your love reading. I'll have timestamps down below for you guys. Capricorn. March 2019 general overview. Capricorn, it's important this month to be exercising free will in relation to asking Spirit to show up and give you signs as to how to move forward with something, asking Spirit for help, okay? Asking the universe for help. Also just asking universe to provide you what you want at this time in relation, or in regards to money, in regards to relationships, okay? Because I'm feeling that there's a little bit of a disconnect, or there may be a little bit of a disconnect throughout the month of March. Not a huge deal, but Spirit is showing up and trying to bless you with an abundance of blessings. I'm seeing the word abundance right now, okay? It'll be a really good time to launch projects. I'm already feeling for the majority of you, anybody trying to launch something, even though it's Mercury retrograde. It's a really good energy, but if you want that extra blessing and you need that help, make sure you're actually asking for it. All right, let's do one more shuffle here for you guys. We'll jump into this. Capricorn 2019, March 2019. Giving and receiving. I really believe this goes hand in hand, Capricorn, with asking universe for what it is that you want, being clear, exercising free will, so the universe can give this to you. It's really as simple as that, okay? Ooh, that message at the end of the, I'm telling you, that will be a theme for you guys for March. Just make sure you're exercising free will. Also make sure in terms of work relationships right now, the workload is balanced, that you're not taking everything on, and that somebody else is getting credit for what it is you're doing. Okay, sitting at the center of this reading, even though this is not your love reading yet, is Cupid, is love. Make sure in all relationships right now there's an equal balance, or otherwise you may find that you'll be a little bit drained. Yeah, giving and receiving is being clarified by relationships. This is work and this is in love. Capricorn, this month you're going to slow down a little bit because of Mercury retrograde. Let that give you time to assess the balance of the give and receive in all relationships, work or love, anything across the board. You're going to find that somewhere there's an imbalance. I feel like you're giving more than you're receiving. Figure out where that's coming from, because love is sitting at the center of this. For many of you, you could be giving more than you're receiving from a romantic partner. There could also be a situation where it's a very innocent imbalance. Maybe somebody's traveling a lot, or someone lives far away from you and you have to stay up later to be able to speak every day, but then you sacrifice sleep, and for them it's more of an ideal time to be on the phone. Again, that's innocent. No one's being selfish, but still an imbalance, okay? Maybe some healthier boundaries. But the beautiful thing about March and this retrograde, let it work in your favor. Let Mercury show you with the slowdown where you need to have healthier boundaries, and who you need to have these healthier boundaries with. So we have 3 cards that just popped. And these all come out with love. I'm going to do a little bit of a different spread for you guys. Okay, so we have what do you desire, assertiveness and acceptance showing up in love. This has to do, again, with this imbalance. Somebody's giving more than their partner. So this could go both ways, Capricorn, but I really do feel for the majority of you, You are giving more. Capricorn, you are capable of this, okay? In terms of work, you're capable of taking on a heavier workload and getting it done, even before people who have a lighter workload, and then you still finish, and then you take on their responsibilities. This is the month to tone that down and to regroup. Capricorn, you don't always have to do everybody else's work for them, even though you can. Use that time and that energy elsewhere. Reconnect to family. For some of you, that imbalances work. And instead of tying up other people's loose ends, let them be responsible for the work they don't get done and go home and spend time with your family. That will resonate with more than just a few of you. But in terms of this relationship, again, this imbalance, which really feels like a big theme right now for Capricorn in March, be assertive. It's really time to hold people accountable for what they are and what they are not giving, okay, in relationships. Acknowledge people's strengths, and that's a beautiful thing, but it's time to have those conversations where there's a weakness. You just can't take everything on. Accept the situation for what it is. It is not your job to take on everybody else's problems, everybody else's work. It is also, it's not of your highest good, Capricorn, to be in relationships where you are the only one giving. Are you doing above and beyond across the board? For some of you, this isn't just work. For some of you, this has to do with work, love, friendships, family. You're finding that you're going to be a little drained in March if you don't rein this in early in the month, okay? A lot of cards pop to clarify Cupid here. What do you desire sits right below Cupid, though. What is it in love? What is it that you want? Again, coming back to the initial message that I channel coming into your reading, ask universe for what it is that you want. Get clear. Do you need a love? Do you desire a love that has a healthier balance? Is that missing? You can tell universe, ask universe for what it is that you want, even in current relationships. To have a healthier balance and a healthier relationship doesn't necessarily mean that you have to completely walk away from the person that you're with. But this month, healthier boundaries are necessary, and you're going to get clear on that. Once you get clear, let the universe know exactly what it is that you want, so that you have a more successful month ahead, especially in regards to projects. So we have, look at this. Okay. We have this beautifully, divinely inspired new idea, creative project, new business, or it could just be an idea that shows up that isn't as big as a new business, but it helps you take a different kind of step forward. In particular with career, but especially for those of you that are creative, okay? I think this is something, we've been talking about this, Capricorn. You've been working on something. So many of you have been working on something new, launching something new, especially my creatives out there. But you can also expect additional clarity this month, especially circling back to projects that maybe you've put in the back burner. Mercury retrograde is going to put some of the things that are on the back burner back center stage in your life, okay? And even that alone, taking on a project that maybe you stepped away from and reassessing it and moving forward with it, that alone could be a divinely inspired idea. So trust that, journal. But what I'm seeing to clarify this, okay, we have heart chakra. The imbalance that you're feeling, especially for those of you where the imbalance is showing up at home in your personal relationships, it's blocking this. And Capricorn, your ideas need to come out. Your business, your product, your creative projects, whatever it is. Okay, it's really important that you see them through. And so the distractions, the imbalance, I'm seeing a little anxiety here for some of you. I know that you don't tend to be like super anxious, Capricorn, typically, but I'm seeing it's like, well, maybe it's more that your heart's a little heavy and you're anxious about having to acknowledge that, where we have accepting what relationships really are, accepting what has really showed up for you. I am telling you, for some of you, what feels like a deal breaker can actually be resolved, okay? And this is true in love and this is true in business, but it is going to take you confronting people this month. You're going to have conversations this month. Don't be surprised if there are some karmic elements that show up. Conversations you've had a million times come up again. But it's important that you start to get to the bottom of it. Also, in terms of the what do you desire card, make sure when you are talking to a partner, a business partner, a romantic partner, and there's an imbalance, make sure you communicate effectively and be very careful with that while Mercury's in retrograde. But communicate with them effectively as to what it is you expect from them as your partner. Let them know what it is that you want. There is a disconnect between knowing what it is that you want and asking for it. That could also pertain to your partners too, not just universe. Let's pull a clarifier here for you, Capricorn. Not a clarifier, crowning. Crowning for Capricorn. To get a little more clarity here. I do feel like it's perfect timing, though, to get this project off the ground. Even though it's retrograde, especially if you've already put a ton of work in. If you haven't put a ton of work in to a new idea and a new project and that comes through this month for you, don't launch that. It's not time yet. But for those of you that have basically already done the work, opportunities have presented themselves, deals have presented themselves, you can move forward during the retrograde. You don't have to wait until April, but do expect things to slow down a bit. Crowning your reading, it's a similar message. Capricorn, first of all, keep your thoughts high around whatever the situation is. Infuse love into it, but again, make time to get clear with the universe as to what it is that you want. There's just a little bit of a disconnect. And I don't think you need a whole lot of time to get clear with yourself so then you can get clear with the universe so that you can communicate things clearly to partners. I think you know. I think now it's just the time to have those conversations because for many of you, this is not a new issue, okay? And you can actually resolve something now, even though it's Mercury retrograde. Don't let that cause you to bury emotions and things. This card, I am seeing buried emotions. You could be holding on to a little resentment, a little anger, or even just some sadness. I mean, look, sometimes we assess relationships, and even if it's in a work environment, it's like, I had really high hopes here, and this isn't working out, and that's going to weigh heavy on some hearts. But look, Capricorn, there is positive energy showing up for you, especially with this. Especially with whatever this project, whatever that means for you, that new transition, that idea. I mean, I'm hearing big money in it. It's not the first time I've channeled that for you, but also in love. For those of you, and of course we'll go into this in more depth in the love reading to follow, but something's resolvable. It's resolvable. That's why don't be too aggressive when you're confronting people because you don't want anybody to get defensive and shut down and just eliminate the possibility of resolving whatever this issue is. Be savvy about how you communicate because I do feel like there's a really positive resolution. Steady progress, energy work here. For some of you, you're going to need some energy work. There's commitments here. Now, for some of you, yeah, get some energy work done, do some clearing and some detoxing. Almost every single sign's getting that during the retrograde. This will be an ideal time to do it. But I'm seeing steady progress toward a commitment, in particular contracts. So what's being asked of you this month, before you enter into big commitments, this month isn't the month to sign documents, again, unless you've already done the work. Lawyers have looked over things, you know, well in advance of the retrograde. Where you're being asked, though, is that you're coming very close to a big commitment, signing that really big deal, whatever that is for you. And this is a month to assess whether or not your team, your partner, the people involved, can they take the step with you? Because you will have success once that deal is signed and once that's official. You may already be having a lot of success here too, but there is a new phase of something, or I'm seeing a new phase of something. It does look like a new deal. Before you have a partner signing this deal with you who can't fulfill the workload and then it's all going to get, you know, put on your shoulders, you may need to cut some ties with people before stepping into that commitment with that other party. For some of you, that's in love. You may need to cut ties with somebody in order to move forward with this larger and bigger and better commitment. For others of you, it's just regrouping, getting things sorted out, so when you do move forward with the current people involved, whether work or love, you actually have much more success once all of that commitment is finalized and official. I really feel like this is a deal coming through for you, and there's some pretty big money there for you, Capricorn. I'm really, really feeling that for you guys. Now let's jump into love. Let's see how this applies to love, because obviously there's some crossover here. But the beautiful thing, Capricorn, is this probably isn't new for you. You probably already know what I'm talking about or who I'm talking about, and you are making really good progress. So universe is acknowledging that. Okay, Capricorn and love, March 2019. Capricorn and love. Ooh. My cards have a mind of their own today. Capricorn, March 2019. And love. Okay, Capricorn. Ooh, ooh. I just channeled something as this card popped. I was channeling that someone in your life is beautiful and safe. So if there is an issue, work through it. You see who you've called in now. You've made some big transitions. For some of you, the ending of something to step into a bigger and better commitment is the end of a relationship so that you can call this person in. For many of you, you may still be in a relationship, but you already know who this is. Make sure doors are closed. All doors, okay, are closed before you step into a new relationship. But this is a real deal. This is the real deal. Heart-to-heart conversations. I don't know what it is, Capricorn. I feel like I channel this a lot in your videos. Who do you think I'm channeling with this? If you've been watching my videos, what sign? I'm channeling Gemini with this. It's somebody that you have, again, that intellectual connection with. May not be a Gemini. It may be someone who has Gemini in their chart but not a sun sign. But it's these really deep conversations that are really fun, really flirty, but then you also have intellectual depth. There's definitely depth there. These are not superficial conversations, but it's someone who keeps you entertained. I really, really feel a Gemini or a Gemini-like connection, okay? That Capricorn-Gemini intellectual connection is really amazing. Trust. You got to trust that this person is your soulmate. Trust that you're making the right decision if you are transitioning out of something into something new. Yeah, I'm getting Gemini for you again. It's like these flirty, fun conversations. Flirt is clarifying soulmate. So if you are single, it's really important for you to be out there in March. Just have fun. You don't need to commit to anybody in March, Capricorn. But you got to get out there. Be out there, be social, be flirtatious. Allow people to be flirtatious and social with you. And for others of you, you are in committed relationships. You're happy. You may have had a little bit of a bumpy road. Something's come up, maybe this imbalance. Work through it and then have fun. But flirt. That is a very big message, even for those of you in committed relationships. Have this fun. Bring this fun back into it. Flirt. Be sexy with your partner. You know, really have these conversations that provoke it, but be flirtatious. Send those flirty texts. Leave little love notes around. Really value the opportunity to be able to do that. Even if that has not been a part of your relationship in a while, it will renew things, especially for those of you where there's been a little bit of a disconnect. Honestly, Capricorn, when I channel for a lot of Capricorns, and I have for a few months in these readings, but also in individual readings, a lot of you are just traveling, and so there's a little bit of a physical disconnect, with which naturally can feel like an emotional disconnect to your partner. So if you have a partner feeling like that, make sure you guys are having fun. I mean, conversations are sitting at the center of this, single or not. Have really beautiful conversations with people that pique your interest, your current partner, because look, this really is the real deal for you. You guys are have really evolved collectively to this place where you're aligning with people that really are of your highest good. These are high-level experiences. But have fun. It's important to have fun, okay? And if you have been traveling, maybe things will get a little bit slower during the retrograde. Use that to your advantage. Heart-to-heart conversations sitting at the center is being clarified by lack of control issues. If you're single, don't force conversations. Don't force relationships. Allow yourself to be in divine flow. If conversations feel forced, you don't have chemistry there. It's just not there for you. Walk away from it. Somebody bigger and better will come along. For those of you in relationships and you're working through some issues and you're having these deeper conversations because you still have some things to work through, try not to control the outcome, and also try not to one-up your partner. I think if you're dealing with a Gemini, you guys are good competitors in a conversation, and you both might even enjoy having to work through a problem like that. But if you're not dealing with someone who enjoys that intellectual competition, which is probably going to be the case for the majority of your partners, don't do that with them because it'll come across controlling. If you have a Gemini in the mix, and even if it's a little bit of an argument or it's a really mature conversation with depth, and you guys are diving deep into feelings and some of the issues, how you can resolve that, and you're dealing with the Gemini, I mean, you're good to go. Do what you want because Gemini's game for it. But for everybody else, just don't. Be very careful not to come across controlling because that'll be really off-putting to your partner. If you're single and you're kind of forcing things, forcing conversations, texting a little bit too much with somebody new, it may not come across the way you intend it to. So don't overwhelm anybody. But also, Capricorn, someone could be doing that to you. Don't be afraid to confront them really beautifully and nicely and assertively. Look, new relationship, I love our conversations, but when I'm working, I can't have my phone going off like this because I still need access to it for work. It's just distracting. So between this hour, let's kind of keep it a little more minimal, you know? You might change that up down the road, but I think for some of you, there's a little bit of a distracting kind of conversation. You might enjoy it, but the timing of it maybe just isn't appropriate right now. Don't be afraid to set those boundaries. For some of you, trust is being clarified by separation. Trust that the relationships that you are getting out of or have recently gotten out of will result in you calling in somebody who is more in alignment with your energy, your soul purpose, and your high level love. Capricorn, you really have beautiful love here. For many of you, you already know that. You've been with this person for quite some time. The separation may not actually be a separating from a partner on a permanent basis. It could just be that travel. Make sure if you're the one traveling too much or working too much, just know that your partner's feeling some sort of a separation, and it might start to hurt them a little bit. So get back to being flirty. Your conversations, make time, spend time with them. Turn off your phones. Okay, that could be the other thing. You may be feeling like work. Those phone calls and those text messages are interfering with your personal life and your time with your family, your time with your significant other. And you're going to have to tell some people like, when I get home at this time, don't call me. If you do, I'm not responding back. I'll get back to you at 8 o'clock in the morning the following day. But I'm not doing that every night. You know, I need some separation between work and my home life. Let me grab this card, okay? Wow. Okay, I think for some of you that message is really, really hitting home because you want to spend time with your family. Crowning your reading, Capricorn, is children. Well, Capricorn, I know how much you value family and that family unit, okay? So you and your beautiful soulmate have a beautiful family together, and that's just the priority. If work is interfering with that, you're probably going to be tempted to be a little aggressive about those boundaries. Be assertive. Go the assertive route without the aggression. I understand how much that frustrates you. Totally warranted. But you have a better result without putting somebody on the defensive if you just get right to the point with them. The healthy boundaries. For those of you who are entertaining the idea of having children, even if you're sort of new to a relationship, I'm feeling, but you have this really intact soulmate connection, so it's very high level love, it feels different, you may be considering this already. Children, this is going to be a big part of the conversations. For those of you that have children with the partner and you're separated from the parent of your children, the other parent, of your children. You could be divorced, but I'm actually getting for some of you, you aren't married, but it's that kind of dynamic where there was the divorce, the separation, and so the children, you know, kind of bounce between households. And first of all, I'm really channeling that you're doing a really great job for your kids, balancing all that out. Like, you're doing a really great job, Capricorn, so good job. But you may be having conversations with your ex about something pertaining to children. Expect somebody to be a little too controlling. Capricorn, if that's you, I know it's your kids, and obviously you're just gonna like, what needs to get done will get done, but try not to control anybody. Allow some compassion there. But if you're dealing with the partner who's being controlling, don't deal with that. You know, I'm not saying you even will, but expect you may come across controlling even if you're not trying to. It's not about that. You just know it's of the highest good and how to resolve something for the highest good for your children. And you may deal with a defensive partner or something like that, but just make sure whether it's coming from you or them, even if it's a miscommunication, you, your ex, they may not be trying to be controlling at all. It's your kids. And so naturally, you're pretty passionate about getting down to the root of any issues to resolve it for the highest good for your kids. But what I really feel for you guys, you're doing a great job. Whatever that means in relation to your children, these conversations, this could be a teacher's even. Maybe there's something going on at school. You will get resolution by the end of the month with it. Capricorn, you're doing a great job. Like, you guys are really, really great parents. So we have, this is making me think of Gemini too. Keep an open mind, Capricorn. In terms of new partners coming in, you may be calling in somebody who isn't your type. That's okay. This playful, fun energy, though, is what you want to bring and look for in new relationships. It's a really good dynamic for you. Again, these conversations of depth, but also really flirtatious. I have little monkeys trying to jump up on the table. Also, for those of you in committed relationships, this is what you want to do with your soulmate. With your partner, this will bring so much joy to you guys. It'll bring back passion, just that flirty fun, even the silly fun that isn't flirty. That's what you want to aim for this month to have the most success in your relationships. Capricorn, I am so grateful to connect with you guys on my channel. Again, this is new for me, and this channel is building really quickly beyond the expectations that I originally had. And I really love you earth signs. I've always had a connection, even though I'm a Gemini. I don't know, I just get along really well with earth signs. And you in particular, I just adore you guys. Thank you for showing up here. Thank you for your support. I will be back March 15th for your mid-month love reading. So we'll take a deeper look at all of this, but it's looking quite good for you, Capricorn. If you'd like to set up an individual reading, I do still have a few slots available throughout the month of March to do that, although my availability is going pretty quickly these days, but I would still love to arrange some time to connect if you need it, as well as healing sessions I'm available for too. Capricorn, I'll see you guys back here soon. Love and appreciate you. Sending you so much gratitude as well. Ciao.